Hi everyone, my name is Rishit. Today is the 14th of October 2024. I'll be going over my weekly prediction for Nvidia. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts. And then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet where we'll review last week's prediction and go over this one in more detail. But before getting into this video, it is important to make the disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis, whatever analysis that may be, to ensure that you're comfortable with the risk, reward, and trading style, since you may not be with mine. But let me reiterate, this is not a trading guide, not an investing guide. It is simply a log of my predictions with their rationale. So please keep this in mind as you're viewing the video. Now, let's get into the analysis. Monthly charts we can see are quite interesting since we have a decrease in volume as this uptrend progresses, which is quite concerning, meaning that it's kind of reaching an exhaustion point. And this uptrend is unlikely to continue for much longer, considering that the volume is very weak. Unless Nvidia announces huge projects or news events or earnings that really boost the market upwards, it's unlikely that this trend should continue for much longer. RSI is overbought, however, it does confirm the upward movement that we're seeing. Plus, Nvidia, as we can see, tends to stay overbought for quite a while, so this doesn't really say much. Similarly, MACD shows clearly a bullish signal. Well, we had a bullish signal all the way back here, and we can see that the uptrend has really gone up in the past like year and a half or so, and that's why Nvidia is huge now. And even the last week was very bullish for Nvidia, and we would have made a lot of profit off of that. But when we get to the Excel sheet, I'll cover that in more detail. Weekly charts, we can see are very similar. We have a very outstanding upwards movement. However, what's interesting is the RSI does not back up this movement at all. So we have a very clear divergence here. And just to illustrate this even more, I'll actually draw out the trend line so it's easy to see. Let's say, probably this is a little bit of a better trend line here. And then this is the downward sloping trend line from this point. If we take Nvidia from here, we can see that it's more or less going somewhere like this. So we can see that there is clearly a divergence here, which is a bearish signal. Further confirmed by the volume declining, it shows that this uptrend is very weak and entering its last stages. That's why we're seeing this sort of double top formation. Now, this is where I'm wary. If it does break this all-time high kind of if it does break this resistance, it is likely that Nvidia will hit another all-time high. However, if it doesn't, we can expect that it reasonably goes down quite heavily. MECD also actually had a bearish signal here, and it's the difference between the averages is decreasing significantly, but it is something to note that the RSI is completely diverging from the price action here. Now, daily charts show this just in a little bit more detail. We can see how we did break this trend line. We would have made a lot of profit here. We actually broke our resistance here on the first day, and then this is the kind of profit range we would have made in the week. RSI in the daily charts overarchingly shows this kind of downwards pattern, which we can see. However, we can see that there is an upwards confirmation from RSI in the recent history. MACD as well shows bullish indications throughout. So the daily charts kind of don't confirm this the weekly analysis that we just did. Now, last week we had a buy signal at 130.26, which we closed at 134.8, giving us a $7,677.14 profit, and bringing our total up to $228,026, a 3.48% profit. Now, this week we will buy when it crosses 136.4 and sell when it falls below 131, with a target of 2% and a trailing stop loss of 1%. If neither are hit, then we will close on Friday. The weekly and monthly trend is up. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.